70% of plant part is made up of water only. That means each organism cell contains around 70% of water. So to grow a plant also we will require water necessarily. But the problem is that the earth gets its water only from the rain. But the rain is not even for the whole year. It only comes for some specific months of the year, and then it does not come, stops raining. So we have to prepare ourselves, we have to use such methods. With the help of those we can irrigate or we can provide water to our plants the whole year long. We should not depend on the rain for irrigating our plants. For that we have to conserve the rainwater also. We should not waste the water also. So here we are going to see the methods of irrigation. First of all, let us write the definition of irrigation. It is the water to the plants. Because if water will be lack, the plants will be affected, as well as if water will be in more condition, then also plants will get affected. So we have to systemize the processes by which we provide water to the plants. So for which we use methods for irrigation. We have two types of methods for irrigation. First is traditional methods, and second is modern methods. Traditional methods are those methods which were used by the people of earlier time, because technology was not that much advanced at that time. But as the technology has got advanced, we have developed some modern method. These modern method saves our time and saves our labors and provide in a proper amount or proper technique of water. They provide us proper technique to provide the water to the plants. Okay, so we have four methods in traditional methods of irrigation. First is moat. What happens in moat? That it is, in this, water is taken out from a tube well or from a well with the help of a pulley, and this pulley is pulled by a person. It is drawn manually. Second is rahat. What happens in rahat? In this whole wheel is pulled by a bullock, some animals, in round or in circle, so the water is pulled out from a river or a well. Second is dekli. Here what happens, from a well there is a wood or a block of wood is used. With this a big rock is tied. With the help of the weight of this rock, this water is taken out from the well. Next is chain pump. In chain pump what happens, a pump is utilized which takes or which pulls the water from any river or any water body, and this water is then utilized for irrigating the field. So in modern methods of irrigation we also have four types of main methods. In this, first is furrow irrigation, that is furrow types of method. What happens in this method, there are rows of crops or rows of plants inside the field. So some canals of water are drawn or made between the rows of the field, and the water is flown from these canals. So both sides of plants will get water from this single canal. This is a very efficient method. Second is basin. These type of methods are mainly utilized on those types of crops which needs a lot amount of water. For example, rice plants. You must have seen a rice field that it is mostly filled with water. What happens in this method, the whole field is divided into channels, or we can say it is divided into square compartments, and those squares or those compartments are filled with water, or we can say they are flooded with the water. This type of method, it can only be utilized with those plants who needs a very large amount of water. For example, rice, on wheat, on maize, these type of plant will not grow in this type of method. Third is sprinkler type of irrigation. What happens in sprinkler type of irrigation, we prepare some nozzles which release of water provide equal amount of water and even amount of water to the plants. In this method, water is not wasted. Fourth is drip irrigation. This is right now in nowadays very favorite method of irrigation for farmers. What happens in this method? Small pipelines of water are scattered or arranged in the fields along with the rows of the plants, and some holes are made just near to the plant, just near to the roots of the plants. So the water is reached drip by drip, or we can say drop by drop, and just near to the roots. So in this method of irrigation, no water is wasted and each and every plant gets enough and equal amount of water. So the next practice in agricultural practices is weeding. First of all, before understanding this weeding and its types, you have to understand what is weeding. You must have seen that when any crop or when any plants are grown in a crop field, some other unwanted plants are also grown along with that main crop. So these unwanted plants are called weeds. You can write here. These unwanted plants in crop are called weeds. We have to remove these weeds. The reason is because when these plants grow along with our main crops, these plants compete for the food, nutrition and space with our main plants. So our main plants will remain lack of nutrient, lack of space because of presence of these plants. So we need to remove these weeds. Along with competition, some kind of weeds, for example Parthenium, also causes diseases and also causes allergies in animals and humans. Some examples of weeds if you want to write are Chenopodium, Amaranthus and Parthenium. These are the plants which are example of weeds. Now methods to remove the weeds. The very first method of removing the weeds is manual method. As the name suggests, in manual method what happens that these weed plants are pulled manually, pulled by people. Pulled manually and removed from the field. Second method is mechanical method. In this method, to remove these weed plants, some tools or some apparatuses are used, which are harrow or trowel. These are blade-like or we can say comb-like structures which are used to remove these weeds. Third is chemical method. There are some specific chemicals which kills or which destroy these weeds when are applied. These type of chemicals are also called weedicides. Examples are 2,4-D, it is a very common example, in NCPA. Fourth is biological methods. In biological method, what happens? The predator species of animals are utilized. For example, if some plant is eaten by a specific species of insect or bird, then that insect or bird will be applied or will be released into that field where these weeds are being grown. So that insect or that bird will eat or destroy that kind of plant which is a weed for us. So here, insect, birds and even other animals, for example cows and buffaloes are left for grazing in the field. They will eat the unwanted plants. So these are the methods of weeding. So the next method in crop practices is harvesting. Harvesting is all the processes of cutting down and gathering the produced or the matured plants which were grown in the crop field. It is a process of cutting down and gathering, that means storing, matured crops. In the process of harvesting, when these crops are cut and gathered, they are kept aside in the field itself so they can get dried for some more time in sunlight. The plants after cutting down are called produce or crop produce. The methods of the harvesting are, there are basically two methods, which is first is manual method. In manual method, people use a sickle. It is this kind of structure which have a handle, and this is a sharp blade. So people use this implement, this tool, to cut down the trees, the plants, just near to the roots. This method is done by people itself, that is why it is called manual method. Second is instrumental or mechanical. In mechanical method, the fueled implements, fueled instruments like harvester are used to cut down the crops. Sometimes harvesters also come in combination with the threshers too. So these types of implements reduce the labor and the time. So the next practice of agriculture is threshing and winnowing. First we will see threshing. Threshing is the process or practice of removal of matured grains and husks from the plant, so they can be utilized or they can be stored. Is the process of, or we can say, separating grains from plants. There are different methods which are used for the process of threshing. First is manual method. In manual method, these whole dried plants are hit hardly on a hard surface, so the grains are released from the plants. Second is use of animals. In this method, these dried plants are scattered on the ground, and some animals like oxen, camels, bullocks, they are released to walk on these plants. So they, because of their walking, because of the weight of their legs, the grains are released from the plants. Third is mechanical method. In mechanical method, there is instrument which is run by the fuel like diesel and petrol is used, which is called thresher. Nowadays, a machine which is also called combine is also used for the process of threshing. Next is winnowing. Winnowing is the method of removing this removed grains from the chaff or from the husk. This process can also be done by two types. First of all, write its definition. Grains from chaff or from husk with the help of use of wind. This method can also be done manually because the grains are heavier in weight and the husk is very lighter in weight. So if we will throw these grains along with husk from a proper height, because of the presence or because of the flow of wind, these husks will be flown away and the grains will drop or will fall on the ground. So it can be done manually or it can be done mechanically. The winnowers, the machines are present with the help of which winnowing is done. So the next practice is storage of grains. When we acquire, when we get our food grains, we need to store them so they can last for longer time. Before storing these grains, we need to take care of the place also where these grains are being stored. We have to use fumigants. Fumigants are specific substances or specific chemicals which are sprayed in the godown or in the area where the grains are to be stored before the grains are taken there. Proper drying of grains, because when the grains comes from the field, they contain some amount of moisture, and this moisture attracts the fungi. These fungi destroys these grains. So proper drying, or we can say proper sun drying of these grains is very important. Using insecticides in these grains is also very important because there are different varieties, different species of insects which attack these stored grains. And protect from rodents. The place where these grains are being stored has to be protected from these rodents. Rodents are rats and this type of organisms which eat these grains. The next topic is methods for restoring soil fertility. This is also called as replenishment of nutrients into the soil. This is done by these 4 methods: fallowing, adding manures and fertilizers, crop rotation and mixed cropping. First is fallowing. This fallowing is also called as zoom cropping, or we can say this was done by the earlier people. What happens in this method, people or farmers grow one crop and after that they leave the field undisturbed for many seasons. So in that period, in that gap of cropping, the soil automatically or naturally replenishes its own nutrients and microorganisms which are beneficial for the crops. Second is adding manures and fertilizers. Adding manures and fertilizers, we have already discussed that there are some chemicals and some organic compounds which are called manures are added to the soil so the plants can get its nutrients. Crop rotation is the method in which the crops are alternatively grown. That means if in a season wheat crop is grown in the field, then in the next season the rice crop will be grown. That means because the nutrient requirement of each crop is different. If wheat has taken all the nutrients required by it, these nutrients will also be required by other plants. So this type of cropping pattern will replenish the soil nutrients. For example, if this year we have grown wheat, in next year we will grow rice. So in that next year, all the nutrients which are required to grow the wheat crop will be replenished naturally. Next is mixed cropping. In mixed cropping, more than one type of crops are grown together in a crop field. So all the nutrients or any specific nutrients is not disappeared from the field. So the next topic is crop improvement and green revolution. First of all, you have to understand what is crop improvement and why do we need this crop improvement. As you already know that the population of world is increasing day by day, it is increasing on a very high rate, but the cropping land, that is the land or area where crops can be grown, is very less. In fact, because of civilization, because of increasing civilization, it is being decreased. So we have to make some changes in our existing varieties of crops so they can give us more produce. That means they can give us more product. So we have to make these type of changes to improve the product quantity. First of all, introducing high yield varieties. We have to make some genetic changes in a crop. We have to make some genetic changes. Let me write it. In crops, so the existing varieties will then produce more amount of food or more amount of crop that it used to be producing earlier. Also, we have to develop resistant varieties. What is the meaning of resistant varieties? It means that we have to develop such kind of plants or such kind of species which are resistant to biotic or abiotic factors. Biotic or abiotic stress means they should be resistant to biotic diseases, that means bacterial diseases, viral diseases, fungal diseases, insect pests. They should be resistant to these, and also they should be resistant to abiotic factors also, like waterlogging, drought, flooding, more temperature, low temperature. These are the abiotic factors with which these crops should be resistant. Next is decreasing maturation time. If a crop will mature in lesser time, in lesser period, we will have more time to grow more crop on the same land. So we have to make some changes in the crop so they can mature faster and faster. Then improving the quality. If the quality of, what is the meaning of improving the quality? Improving the quality means improving the amount of nutrients which are present in the crops or in the grains products. If the amount of nutrients will be high, we have to utilize the amount of the volume of these products in less amount. So these are the methods which are utilized to improve the varieties of our crops. First is selection. In this method, what we do, we observe, we see the characters of any crop or any plant. If that plant is having the characters which are required by us, we will select it or we will choose it. Second is introduction. We have to introduce these plants or these seeds into the field so they can grow up. When these will grow, after that we have to hybridize them. That means the selected varieties, the improved or the good quality varieties of